We'll talk about the downside of boxing, another headline that it doesn't need, another doping scandal in this particular sport. Last month, Simon, undisputed super featherweight champion Alycia Baumgardner beat Greece's Kristina Lenarditu on points by a unanimous decision. That was over in the States. Now, it's now been revealed that Baumgardner tested positive for mesterolone in a drug-free sport test prior to the fight, with the results coming back, curiously, after the fight. It's understood she tested positive for the banned steroid, mesterolone, on July the 12th. It was a urine test conducted by Drug Free Sport 3 days prior to this fight. But the results didn't come back until a month later, on August the 10th, when the fight had come and gone, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. But Simon, here we are with potentially another doping scandal.
Yeah. And a promoter that's been involved in some controversy recently over, obviously, the Conor Benn situation and the Dillian Whyte fight.
It's Matchroom again,
It's
right?
Matchroom again. Now, you will recall last week we had Eddie Hearn in and having a conversation with me. And if you put aside the theatrics and the fire and brimstone that went on and look at a particular conversation that we had, because drug-free sport isn't a terminology, it's actually a drug testing agency. It's a drug testing agency that are very well recognised in America. Eddie Hearn made the point because I asked him a question: who are drug-free sport? And I then went on to evaluate why are you developing a relationship with them. More concerningly, are you in a position where when you use this drug testing agency, which no one else uses in boxing, they're very well established in American sports, but no one uses them in conjunction with boxing. Are you in a situation where you are the person that gets the results and adjudicates the results? And Eddie responded to that. I also asked him, have you used them recently? And have a listen to the audio and see what Eddie Hearn says to that. What's this situation going on with this drug-free sport, where there's this conversation going on, and I hear that you are involved with drug-free sport and that Matchroom fighters are going to be tested by drug-free sport and the results are going to be provided to Matchroom, and Matchroom are going to be the adjudicator of those.
Absolute
rubbish.
Absolute rubbish. Drug-free sport is a credible testing agency. I think they work with the NFL.
Is there any truth in the allegation that your fighters are being tested by them and that the results come back to you and that you are the adjudicator of the positive tests? Categorically.
Absolute rubbish.
Has there been any fights where this has happened so far?
Drug-free testing have tested our athletes before.
Right.
Absolutely.
Recently?
And, not, I think, in the last, 3-6 months, but we do use drug-free sport, as do the NBA, I think the NFL or NHL, wherever it is.
Nothing wrong with them,
no.
but the fact that you, as Matchroom,
absolutely.
get the results.
So just to put your mind at rest, Simon, before anyone thinks that might be factual.
You've denied it.
Absolutely. We would never.
Eddie, here's the deal.
I would like to think
Conor Benn.
So what you need to pay attention, what was lost in a lot of the conversations was Friday-Saturday debates. This isn't a Friday-Saturday debate. This is me asking Eddie about drug-free sport as an agency being utilised by Matchroom. And this is Eddie telling us that they haven't been utilised by Matchroom for 3 to 6 months, up to 6 months, where the actual facts of the matter are that they were used 3 weeks earlier. And they were used not in some random fight, they were used in the undisputed super featherweight championship of the world. So it's not some random fight that wouldn't be on the mindset of Matchroom. It's a proper, huge, massive fight with an undisputed champion fighting against someone that she's lost to before. Her only loss is to this particular girl.
Right. Well, the fight was on the 15th of July, right?
The testing was done on the 12th of July. It would appear that this very reputable agency didn't submit these tests until the 21st of July, and the results, according to Matchroom, didn't come back until the 12th of August. It's another instance, and the reasons why this is in the public domain now is because the media were breaking it yesterday. Very similar to the Conor Benn situation. The reason why the Conor Benn situation manifested itself is because the media broke the story, the fight was stopped. The Dillian Whyte fight was stopped instantaneously in conjunction with the British Boxing Board controlled by Eddie. But this is a Matchroom fight. This is the third fight where you've either got a relationship, you've either got a promotion, or you're supportive of a fighter, because we listened to the three arguments, which is Eddie was co-promoting one fight, promoting this fight, or has a supportive relationship with Conor Benn. But this is a fight that had a failed drugs test through an agency that no one was aware of until, because when I brought up drug-free sport last week, you looked at it and went, why am I asking that question? The reason why I put that into the frame is because I knew there was something in the air. I knew there was something about to come in the ether about drug-free sport, and I couldn't understand why Eddie, that has told you repeatedly that VADA is the gold standard, would be using another drug testing agency. And now we've got a situation where...
They would say that they're doing more drug testing than any other promoter.
Fantastic.
So hence, percentage-wise, proportionately, you're going to get...
My question of Matchroom, if people want to talk about agendas, because that's how this will be responded to, no doubt. Look, my agenda, if there is an agenda, and an agenda I'll have, is I pretty much love this boxing sport. I wish I'd got involved with it more than I wish I'd got involved with football. And if my agenda is anything, I want to clean it up. And when you've got a situation where you're getting fighters that are failing drugs tests, that are going into fights, where drug testing agencies aren't submitting information, leading promoters, this is not a misstep. This isn't a Friday Saturday debate about what Robert Smith said to me and me mistakenly representing it as Friday rather than Saturday.
No,
this is a promoter telling you that he hasn't used this drug testing agency for up to 6 months, and he used them 3 weeks ago in one of the biggest fights in in women's boxing for the undisputed, for all the belts, actually for 5 belts,
right,
in a leading fight, and this has got to stop.
Right. Okay. Well, this now know.
This has got to stop.
Alycia Baumgardner tested positive for misterolone in a drug-free sport drugs test prior to the fight. The results came back after the fight. I mean, until that changes, nothing's really going to change, is that Matchroom, for their part, is committed, they say, to promoting clean and fair sport for all athletes and will assist Alycia and her team during this time, affording her the appropriate due process as we wait to receive more information. Matchroom will not be making any further comment.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.